Hey y'all, welcome to the Liberation is Lit podcast where the power of storytelling meets the force of social change. I'm your host, Tayler Simon, and in this podcast, we believe in the profound impact of stories. And today I am honored, excited to talk about some awesome animation cartoons. Like I was just telling Shawn before we started that like so many people were like, do you know the Jelly and Jam guy? And I'm like, I need to have them on the podcast. So I'm excited. So hi Shawn.
Good. What's up? What's up? It's an honor to be. You're doing great work, in the city, out of the city. So, I'm just happy to sit down with you.
Oh, thank you so much. So to kick us off today, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your mission, Jam and Jelly and Super Rap projects, and how did you come up with your ideas?
Yeah, Taylor, just to keep it simple, I'm a big kid. I've been a big kid my whole entire life, and I'm just happy to say that that's never gone away. I'm very blessed to realize that that's the gift I got was to be a big kid and to use my imagination. And so now I create these stories like Jam and Jelly, Super Rap, and other stories coming that will encourage others to use their imagination and tap into their gifts as well. And you don't have to be ashamed to have that imagination and use it.
Yeah, I love that. And I've been thinking about imagination a lot lately when it comes to adults because I don't know, something, I guess maybe something about puberty is just like we're too cool for imagination because we want to be
Right.
grown. But I don't know where that imagination goes as we get older. So I
Mhm.
just want to ask you, why do you believe in inspiring children to use their imaginations?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've been working in the school system before I started doing this, and it made me put a lot of things into perspective. I think as adults, like you said, when certain times of our life hit and you got bills, you got voices in your head from outside people or your family, you're worried about making money, you're comparing your life to other people, that takes away from your imagination. And so when I'm seeing kids, in the school and they're in their purest state where they don't have to worry about those things, they're just going to school, they're learning, they're getting their ideas out. I want them to continue to stay that way. And you can make a living and make money using those same things. So like I think it's important that we get to the kids, get to people before they get influenced by all these things that really don't matter as much as we think they matter. Money's important now, but so is being your authentic self.
And that's, and there's definitely a way to combine the two of like making a living and surviving and also being your authentic and true self and using your imagination. And I really love that you say you're a big kid too, because like I still love to watch cartoons. I just turned 30 and I'm like,
Yeah.
still love to watch cartoons. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender is like my favorite cartoon, along with SpongeBob, because I'm always thinking about SpongeBob quotes in my head.
Supposed to say jam and jelly. See, look. See? No, I'm playing with
Those are second and third on the list
Man, they on the
after
list
Jam and
though.
Jelly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you believe art and imagination connect to creating better communities?
Yeah, like in the Jam and Jelly books, Super Rat books, there's messages tied into each story. Some messages are a lot more subtle than others, but I use my art, the art of storytelling to get out these life lessons and to teach things to not only students, but to adults. Like you can forgive others. You can work together, even though you may not see eye to eye with somebody initially. Also, some people are the way they are because of things they've experienced, and you don't know that on the surface level. These are all things I'm talking about in these books, and the lessons and everything continue to get deeper as we grow. So that's one way I try to affect the community is by making it fun, but also making it important. And, in a sense, you kind of got to draw people in with the fun, and then you can get their attention and teach them about the important things or remind people of the important things. Yeah. What about you, though?
If I kind of agree with that too, with the you bring people in with the fun. That's why when I talk about how books changed my life and books have the power to change the world, I don't just mean like the dense,
Mhm.
I don't know. The first book that came to mind was like Communist Manifesto. It doesn't always have to be those kinds of books. It can be fiction too, and ways that people imagine things. And I know that we did or are in the process of doing a read along with Parable of the Sower by
Cool.
Octavia Butler, who is my birthday twin. And the way Octavia Butler is just her ability to one tell the future, because I wanted to do a read along and start on July 20th because it the book starts out on July 20th, 2024.
Uh,
So it's just, and it's scary how much she predicted from this book came out in 1993. So she talked about climate crisis. She talked about like basically circuses of elections and people looking to politicians for hope and like looking to get back to the good old days and just
uh,
okay, how can we imagine a better future, but how can we also imagine a way to survive better if things don't go back to where they were and they just continue to get worse? How can we survive?
oh,
So I love Octavia Butler's imagination, and that's why I believe fiction, we learn things from fiction and stories just as much as we do from like nonfiction books.
yeah,
And the way what you said about like attracting people with the fun, even the lightest, airiest, bubbliest romances, we can take something from it and see something of our own lives or learn about people who are different from us. So that's why I think your work is so cool. And do you want to talk a little bit more about the lessons that you talk about in Jam and Jelly and Super Rap?
sure, sure. Yeah, so got some props with me right over here. You know what I'm saying? So let's see, book one, go through them real quick. This is like where it all starts right here. So this is Jam and Jelly. This one introduces them, but it's also about facing your fears. Let's see, the book two. This one is about being friends with people, even though you get started off on the wrong foot. Try to understand why people are different. Book three. This one is about thinking for yourself, not following the crowd. Book four. One of the most important lessons I think I've written so far is about forgiveness. And I like this one a lot because a lot of adults, they keep this book. They come back to me and talk about the lessons they were reminded of in this story. And all these lessons come from experiences I've had or continue to have, which is cool too. So, I'm writing these books, reading them back, and I'm smiling, and that's my cue that I'm doing the right thing, and that the book is ready to be released. You know, and Super Rap, also an important lesson for me is that your words have power. All his rhymes turn into real things. So you have to use wisely. Yep.
I love all of that. And like you said about the book about forgiveness, I feel like all of these messages, a lot of adults need to
Mm.
learn about because we don't stop learning, and some of the things that we learn to keep us safe in our childhoods, we don't need any longer to keep us safe. So we need some of that forgiveness. We need some of that thinking for ourselves. We need some of that thinking about words and them being powerful and impactful. So I love the work that you're doing, and I love that you said when you're writing the stories, you have a smile on your face. So, what keeps that smile on your face when you're continuing to write these stories?
Just the excitement for what's coming. These stories are the starting point for me. I'm trying to turn all of this stuff into movies, fruit snacks, board games, give back to my community in different ways. Just being from, the northeast part of Columbia, I see the power of reading and the power of not reading and, having something that can engage the students in the community. So these are just the starting points. And I just get so eager. I'm like, man, I'm sitting on these ideas and these books. I just want to put them out tomorrow, but I kind of I got to get them, polished a little more. And so it's just like waking up on a holiday for me or having summer break. I'm just excited for them. And I'm excited to use my gift and my talent and it feels therapeutic in a way to release it into the world, not because of the response I get from other people, but just because I'm doing what I'm meant to do. That's the best part about it.
And since everybody knows you, what are the ways or what are the
You make me
not
sound,
valuable ways, but like,
come on, everybody knows
what
you.
mean, I'm not kidding how many people are just like, do you know him? And I'm like, yeah.
Man.
And how do you find ways to connect with community and what kind of joy has it brought you in using Jam and Jelly and Super Rap in all of your cool stories and animation to connect with community?
Yeah, Taylor, I can't tell you how many times I've cried since like I started Cartoon Junkyard. The kids running up, parents writing letters, leaving me messages on Instagram, just about what the books are doing. There was one of my boys, shout out to Miss Thiva, her son dressed up as Jelly for his school. I think they had like a costume day or something. I don't know if it was Halloween or whatever, but he dressed up as Jelly. And so just to see these reactions, there was a kid who woke up on Christmas, got his Jam and Jelly book, and he couldn't believe it. And I'm like, man, that's insane to me that this is doing that. And so, yeah, these reactions from the kids in their purest state, and more importantly, they're encouraged to be themselves. You know, I really think some of these books, will hopefully change lives. And I started this whole thing off of Cartoon Junkyard by saying my goal was A, to inspire others to use their imagination, and B, which is the most important goal, was to save a life. And so I just hope that they've been doing that, you know. But I can only control what I can control and just continue to put out the best stuff I can put out.
Well, I can tell you're doing great work and making a very important impact on the community.
Oh.
So I know you talked about all your ideas and your stories. What are some of your upcoming projects that you can share with us today?
Huh. Let's see, Taylor. So I'm always writing. So I got a couple of books in the chamber. Super Rap Book 2. I give you the scoop. Super Rap Book 2 will be out hopefully before the end of this year sometime. And so then we're gonna go into some other series that I have planned. And then one day what I tell everybody, one day this is gonna be on TV or, a movie in some way. That's really what I got in the works. Really just writing and putting those hours in every day. Even if it's just for an hour or 2 hours, so some days I have are busier than others where I'm writing at least a chapter. Even if I throw away the whole chapter the next day. I just gotta keep getting in the gym, as I like to say. Keep writing. Yeah. What about you? What you got coming up?
Well, I guess I'll give you the scoop here. I'm very close to getting a new storefront, so
Oh,
excited for that. And you know what? I haven't talked to you and I was going to talk to you offline, but I need to have Jam and Jelly and Super Wrap in the store, so we need to make this happen. I have a consignment program that I work with local independent authors, everybody who wants to get their books in a bookstore. So we'll
sure.
talk.
Yeah, let's do that. That's big
Yeah.
time. I didn't get
Yeah.
to where you were at before or where you at currently. I haven't been there yet. We've seen each other at markets and stuff, but I haven't seen it at the location. So
Things are working out and I'm grateful for that opportunity in Rosewood and excited for what's ahead and new possibilities.
yeah.
So, yes. And then I also have thinking about like future and when Jam and Jelly and Super Rat become cartoons. This is probably a controversial question, but Nickelodeon or Disney Channel or Cartoon Network, which one is your preference?
Easy answer. Cartoon Junkyard.
Yes, yes. Your own platform is where it's at.
Nowhere. Yep. Easy one right there. Hey, before we get off track, what I was about to say though, um, I want you to know that you should don't let those experiences and everything like stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know, like sometimes we go through things and it doesn't make sense why things happen. It only makes sense when you look backwards, you know? So all these experiences are leading you to the next great thing, which is the storefront coming soon. So keep doing your thing out there.
Look at you just dropping lessons. This is your podcast. You're teaching me something. And who knows, like maybe that lesson will be in the next installment of Jam and Jelly or Super Rap.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Yes, but proud of you. So keep doing it.
Thank you. So, my last question for you is what advice would you offer listeners who want to make a positive impact in their communities?
You make the biggest difference when you're being authentic. You know, people can tell when you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're just out here switching every lane, just trying to chase a dollar, not only is that going to be harmful for yourself because you're not going to be living in your purpose, but your impact is not going to be as as big if you're not in the lane you're supposed to be in. People will gravitate towards you and you can inspire more people when you're being yourself. So I just encourage everybody to think about what it is that you really love to do. Figure out how you can make a living out of it, be successful with it. Because when you love to do it, you're going to work harder at it. It's not going to feel like the amount of work it would feel like for somebody else who's doing something that they don't enjoy. And then you're putting in this work and you realize, oh, wow, this is building something. This is building something. And I'm inspiring people. And then that is ultimately how you can stay happy and how you can leave your mark.
And I love that because a lot of times, like what you were saying, we hit certain points in our life, we're like, oh, this is the way that other people say to make money, or oh, this somebody else is popping off doing this. If I try it this way, then hopefully I can pop off too. But that point of being authentically yourself and like when you're living in alignment of like who you are, what your values are, and how you have fun, like
Mhm.
the work is never going to be work.
Yeah, yeah, I've been caught up in that too. Like, looking at all these things on YouTube, like, oh wow, I can get into that hustle and make money, and then it never lasts. It never lasts. I heard Pharrell say something one time. He was like, when you're in your own lane, there's less traffic. You know, nobody can do what you do the way you do it. So there's 1,000 authors, but nobody can write my story the way I can write my story. And I can't write somebody else's story the way they can write their story. There's 1,000 trillion bookstores out there, but nobody can run a bookstore the way you can run a bookstore because you're you.
And we're using that imagination to make it even better too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Man.
Well, thank you so much, Shawn, for being on the pod. Where can people find you and your work?
Yeah, I'm Cartoon Junkyard on all platforms, cartoonjunkyard.com, Instagram at Cartoon Junkyard, everywhere at Cartoon Junkyard. Make sure you go hurry up and catch up on all your books before the next one comes out. Yeah, let's make that happen.
Thank you again. And y'all know where to find Jam and Jelly and Super Rap Cartoon Junkyard. And you'll be seeing it on Cartoon Junkyard and eating your little fruit snacks of little jam and jelly. But that would make me sad too, eating jam and jelly, but it's
Mm,
fine.
mm.
We'll think about it. We'll think
Yeah,
about it.
I'll figure something out.
Yes.
It's-
Maybe you could bring back the fruit roll-ups with the tongue tattoos.
Those used to hit now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hit. See, look at
'Cause
you.
right, Gen Alpha doesn't know anything about that. Gen Z barely knows anything about
Making me feel old, man. No, I'm a big kid. I can't age, so Mhm.
It's all about the age up here.
Right, right, that part. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on, Taylor. It was an honor. Look forward to doing more of these, hopefully. So, yeah, fun.
Yes. And thank y'all for being a part of the Liberation is Lit podcast. If you have stories to share, want to suggest any topics, or just want to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Liberation is Lit, or our website, liberationislit.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a review. And remember, your voice matters. And together, through the lens of stories, we're going to make a difference in the world. See y'all next time.
Peace.